on Wednesday and we work Thursday, we probably hit 300 again for the week, which is exactly what we're trying to look to do. So we are now setting ourselves up to do that again. We have a perfect balance of sales right now. We have 15 month to month. We have 15 inline deals. Couldn't ask for more, right? The biggest thing right now is we're trying to turn this thing into a full-blown flip factory, right? We have all hands on deck. I know Friday got a little crazy because everybody's answering the phones and we're short a few closers. But today the key is less is more, right? Don't start changing things that you're doing that are working. We want you to continue to get flips out. We got a lot of people with like, who here has more than 2 deals right now? 1, 2, 3, 5. It's a good number already at lunch. You know what I'm saying? You're starting if you have more than 2 deals already, start your week on a Monday solid. Anybody who's got a deal already before lunch, that's also a good start. Anybody without a deal already, we have to do what we have to do to get you on the board. So the key is to continue to manufacture flips, right? Flips are what's getting us to where we need to be. So let's not lose sight of what's actually working, right? The process is working. The sales are there. The closers are closing. We have all hands on deck today. So we're looking really, really, really good. I'm going to let Sean go through all the prizes we're going to do in December, but we're going to do basically a giveaway up through the whole month of December, right? Yes. So the first day out of January, we'll have a bunch of prizes we'll give you guys. It's super basic, right? If you get a deal,
an open is worth 1 ticket and a close is worth 1 ticket.
And then if you work 40 hours in a week, you get a ticket.
Yes.
If you work less than 40 hours in a week, we're taking a ticket back. But we won't remember that anyway, so don't worry about it. Don't stress that part. But the key is deals, right? Because one of you guys are like, well, I'm going to get 80 fucking deals anyway, work 37 and a half hours, so it doesn't make a difference. And you're right. But really good. So really impressed with how we put together the week last week. The holiday season is here. Sean's going to elaborate a little bit more. But our whole thing is like, this should have been done already. Like, you should, you're on a closeout, yada, yada, yada. The biggest thing now is like, you are literally in the month of December, and I'm going to let Sean elaborate more. Yeah. But this is the single best time of the year to do it. And it's the same thing after when January starts, we have that same type of momentum. Don't be afraid of the holidays, right? The cost is the cost, but the cost of repairs is what you're really going to need to stress, right? Cost of repairs, painting pictures are important regardless of whether you're somebody who's on the phone for 2 minutes, or you're somebody who's on the phone for 22 minutes, and everybody in between, right? This is the time they need it the most. If you break down with Christmas, with the holidays, it's going to cost you a ton of money. Don't be afraid of the money. They all got it. I've been doing this a long time. I nailed everything so far. Wednesday was going to be good until it got late, and I was 100% right on the money. I said Friday's going to be good, but it's going to start slow, and I was 100% right on the money. The month of December is super fucking strong. People are in a buying mentality right now, buying holiday gifts, buying this, buying that, buying food, so people are buying shit, right? It gets more rough actually in January, right before tax return season, but we'll worry about that when we get there. This part of the year is the fucking strongest part of the year. This and the summertime are the 2 strongest parts where we get a ton of sales. Don't be scared. You got to be confident on the phone. You got to pitch these people with confidence. You got to just straight up when it comes. If you are someone who tells them money is involved, you have to say it with confidence. If you are someone who doesn't tell them there's money involved, you need to pitch the policy with confidence. You're going to deal with rebuttals all the time. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Whether you've known it or not, if you've been doing this for more than 24 hours, everybody's not interested and everybody's broke, right? But somehow by the end of the day, we end up with somewhere between 50 and 70 sales. So those are 50 not interested to 70 not interested, 50 that they can't afford it to 70 they can't afford it. It's not about what the customer's saying, it's what they're doing, right? Because if they really didn't want it, what would they do?
Hang up.
They hang up on you, right? If they really truly didn't want it, they hang up on you. I just watched a prime example of it. Not that Hassan did anything wrong, but he worked this lady for a fucking 45 minutes straight and got to the point where he's like, shit, we need a second voice. If that lady really didn't want it, any time in that entire hour she could have hung up, she's just battling. Sometimes customers just want to do it their own way, and it's not how it's done. And sometimes you do need to tag somebody in. So I'm talking about 2 of the most professionals you can find in the industry. This man is great at what he does, and this man is great at what he does, right? And this TO came from John, who's also very solid. He's not very good, John. I give you a lot of credit, right? But like, he was aware that he's like, yo, I am now bumping heads with this lady. I'm not making any more progress. And then he went and flipped the call over to Sean because it needed a second voice, right? I'm not asking you guys to take calls for 45 minutes and fuck them up. I'm just saying we're looking at 2 very seasoned veterans on the phone, and they're still turning calls over to each other, right? So if they're still turning calls over to each other, there's no reason you are not. I don't really care so much about how many sales you're getting, because I am now a big believer that if the flips are there and they're done right, the sales tend to follow. Okay, so I am very much going to be on you guys making sure you're getting 10% of your calls flipped out and over, right? If you're somebody who doesn't flip, don't worry about it. If you are somebody who flips, I'm going to hold you to this 10% number pretty aggressively. We lost a young man this morning who's 29 phone calls in with no flips. We're about to lose somebody right now who's at 55 phone calls and 2 flips. Doesn't work for me. You can't, because the way I have to look at it is if you're taking 55 phone calls and you got 2 flips out, but I go ahead and I put them in front of Kevin, I'm probably getting 7 more flips out of Kevin. That's the problem. So, and credit to you. You're very good at what you do, but I would rather get those 55 phone calls and spread them out amongst all the people that are working very hard and getting flips out and not just take them and throw them into like a fucking dumpster because you know too much or you've been doing it too long. And that's where my struggle is going to come in with you guys. Just do your job, right? Like Stone, you got 3 deals today. You have like 11 flips. It's not make believe why it's happening. You have 11 flips out. You have 3 sales. So it's not, the math is literally fucking there. You have like 7 or 8 flips out and you have 2 deals already, right? 3 deals already. So it's not, and how many warranties do y'all sell before you start working here? 0. And how about you? 0, half chance you got an accident, right? Yeah, it's so it's like, yeah, it's a very low number regardless. So we're talking about people that are just following the process, putting on a good attitude, working the fucking phone call, turning the call over, getting it short, concise, getting it over to people that can close, and then before you know it, you're over here writing shit down all day. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm looking at a guy, look, you got the most experience out of all of us, with all due respect, right? But you're still following the process. You're not putting your ego in front of anything. You're learning. You're doing what you got to do. You're doing what we're asking of you. Anybody's capable of doing it, whether you're 8 or 80. It doesn't matter, right? Whether you sold 0 warranties or 1 million warranties, it really doesn't make a difference. Just follow the process. I know you're not 80, okay? I'm just giving an example. And if you are 8 years old and working here, we are probably fucked anyway because I think it really proud.
18 to 65?
Yeah, 18 to 80, all right? Yeah, we're really fucked if you're 8 working here. That's called child labor laws. We don't want to be violating them motherfuckers. This is California. Don't read between the lines. So with that said, I'll pass it over to Sean here and let you tell them all the good news.
Yeah, first things, guys. So if you weren't here, I made a quick announcement. I'm going to put this up as I'm talking. For the month of December, what we are doing, and Chris kind of touched into it, we are doing a giveaway because we think it is important to not only have you going towards your money and commission, but especially holiday months, throw some things back into it. So like we mentioned, every unit you get, every open, every close goes towards this. You get a ticket that goes in a raffle. And I think it's the last week of December, whenever our last day is, we're going to be doing this, raffle here. It looks like I have some things we have. So far, we have a 60-inch TV, Apple AirPods, Beats headphones, a $100 at scratch off, board-up TV soundbar, some other things, and we're going to continue to add to it. The point is, we just want to make sure during this time, because this isn't, and what I was going to get into, I've been doing this for 8 years. My best month every single year is in the month of December. It's because the one time for the whole year, we always say the story needs to make sense between the opener and the closer. The story actually makes sense. It's the last month of the year. We're doing all our follow-ups on previously closed accounts. That's why your account is locked. And we want to make sure before we get off and they officially close it, we can give you that one final opportunity to get the premium cover that you needed. So like every time this person that just got sent over to me, she bought her car in July of 2020. So I told her right away, I was like, man, this closed out. She's like, why is this not closed out already? I was like, it is. It's been closed out since July. And if you would have tried to call in between then, they wouldn't have left it available to you. But we do an end of the year follow-up for preferred customers with an active loan. So they wanted to make sure, even though this shouldn't even be offered to you anymore, they're giving you that final shot to make sure you're doing the right thing with your loan. And I'm telling you, going that route with people, it resonates because now again, the story adds up. It's like she knew she bought her car in July. She asked right away, why did this not be closed? It has been since July, actually. We're just doing you the favor because it's the final month of the year, and we put all our year-long closeouts in this so we can give you that one final call to get the right coverage. So if you're, whatever part of the call you're at, early, late, whether you're opening, closing, if they're trying to get off the phone, that is such an easy thing for you to be able to explain to them that actually makes perfect sense. It's the last month of the year. It is now December 1st. When the fuck else are we going to be able to get a warranty started for you? These plans take 30 days to go into effect, so it should have been activated before December. But because you have preferred customer status, because whatever, because you made all your payments, because you drive a Nissan, whatever you want to use at that point, because it's the month of December, because it's Cyber Month, whatever you want to use at that point, you can use it, and that is the reason it needs to be done today. So that built-in excuse that we're always looking for, it's like, how can I get this person to actually believe me that they have to do it today? It is existing with the time we are in right now. you don't have to make up as many things as like, you know, sometimes when you're closing, I always say whether you're at 100,000 miles or how old the car is or when you took the loan out, you got to do some like mental gymnastics to make sure you're saying the right thing. Now it's just like you had this whole year to take care of it. It's now the last month of the year. This is a final chance to take care of this. So it makes it very easy for your story to sound the same from when the first person talks and the second person to when you're closing. So everybody that somebody tries to hang up the phone, if you're not using end of the year, close out, should have been done this year, they're giving you one final opportunity. You're leaving deals on the table. It is the ultimate anchor to get people back and thinking about it. To touch on that, the one thing that I just want to go over, and it's more our closers, it kind of goes to everybody because everybody should hear this, but I want everybody to remember what the people are doing before you. Some people, and we're gonna be meeting with some people, we're going through too many TOs, too many flips, because you have to pitch the shit out of them. I'm sorry. If you're getting these TOs, it's because we know that you know how to sell it a little better than the people before you. And if you're not using any of your salesmanship skills and you are just trying to bulldoze people into information, it just isn't the way. Like we're setting it up purposely because we want the people that have more experience and know what they're doing a little more to be able to give them the pitch. Like I know some of my people know how to pitch these things and make them sound good. And I've heard other people just read through parts, comes engine, transmission, drive axle, blah, blah, blah. When you're closing, or even if you're opening, regardless, if you're going through any types of parts, if you're going through parts like you're just trying to get through a script and you have no intention of trying to get a hook in somebody or no intention of trying to get them interested in what you're saying, you're never actually generating interest. You're finding people that are willing to stay on the phone, which is cool at the beginning, but you're not selling anybody by saying engine, transmission, drive axles, everyday problems, starter, alternator. Like, look, it covers your engine, your transmission, your drive axles. Those are things that are all like 4,000 plus. And the thing is, that's where most plans stop. But because you're under that 100,000 miles, you still get the everyday problems that we know are going to go wrong on your vehicle, like a starter or heating and air conditioning or a braking system. And let me ask you, now we're talking about, like, if you're breaking out, where would you take the vehicle to? Would you go to a repair shop? Do you have a dealership? Like, that's selling with intention. That's like going over the parts. Your story is kind of moving them along, and they don't even realize that they're slowly being sold the whole time. And then by the time you ask them for money, they're already set up. You know what I mean? You've already established this should have been done already. You've already gained interest because you sold the plan with intention, and you explained to them the closeout scenario because it's the end of the year. The only way they wouldn't do it is if they don't believe you at that point or they don't trust you at that point. And if you ask for money and they don't believe you or trust you at that point, the only thing is let's dive back in and let's do it all over again. It sounds redundant and it sounds crazy at first that I can pitch a plan. They tell me they don't trust me. I pitch the plan again a little differently and then they trust me. But it happens. Like there's a turn that happens with people because you might say something on the phone that might humanize yourself. You may mention something that means something to them, and then it clicked, and then it's like, shit, maybe they're not so bad after all. Like, and you don't know what that point's going to be. You don't know if it's going to be when you're talking about a repair that's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to mention something about your kid or your parent or the time, like anything like that. You don't know where or when it's going to come. So your job is not to try to pre-qualify a customer and figure out what they need to be sold. Your job is just wholeheartedly to pitch them the best of your ability. Do your best, whatever point in the call you're at. Your goal should just be to do everything we can to not let them hang up on me. Like, that's my head always. Like, whether I'm opening, closing, they're going to have issues. They're going to want to hang up on me. I know this going into it. And my number one objective is I'm going to keep them on the phone, and I'm going to keep rebuttaling, objecting, or getting it out to a flip, whatever the case is, until they either break and hang up, which we know is their only option to do it, or they're going to buy it from me. Like, what? I've never figured out the whole have a good day situation. If you're 5 minutes in a call, I'm going to say it a million times, that is your best chance at a deal. Someone that has provided you a car information, knows it's about a warranty, and has talked to you for 3 minutes, just because they said once they're not interested, I promise that is much closer to a deal than the abyss of the dialer where someone might not be there, someone may tell you to F off. So don't just always look for the easy way. We're not here skimming for laydowns at this point. We are here battling the people that didn't want to do this, and we're going to show them at the end of the day that our way makes more sense than their way, and I'm going to break it down to every step of the way to why that is the case. 2 o'clock, guys. We're trying to get this to 60. Let's have a big second half. Good job, you guys. Keep learning back there.
How can I help you?